welcome everybody joining in today at our latest Dining Doodles. We've been gone for about a week, but we're back, and we have a new request to draw. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a request to draw Demon Slayer's Zenitsu in a modern city confused. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Let's go to the screen. Alright, did some sketching. I do have some reference images. There's one. Let me take this. It's New York City. Wait, why is it not showing? Why is it not showing? What the heck's going on? Why are you not showing? I don't know. Let me reload it. Yes, let's reload. Alright, hold on. Let's see. Gosh darn it. You only want one thing to work? And you can take forever to work. Come on. Alright. That is huge. Hold on, let me move that out of the way. There you go. Yeah. New York City. So, we're going to use that as a reference for the buildings. We're not going to get as detailed with it because we'd be here for freaking ever. I do want to remind people on these streams, we do this in 2 hours. Not like 4, not a day. 2. Quit making requests, which would take me hours. You give away free things, you get damned. But I had to make that statement. I'm gonna hide New York right now because it's gonna confuse me for the drawing of Zenitsu. Before we get to the city, I need to get him drawn out. I was doing this. I kind of want to redraw him. Because I'm not liking the position or the head. But I literally just drew that. Right before coming on stream, which is why I was a little quick on the opening today. Because I was behind. What? Hey! Cypher, how's it going? Gonna try and sketch in so you guys get to see me do a complete sketch from scratch. I'll still do one of the faces on this way. And I'll have shocked eye. Zenitsu, I made it known before on stream. He's my least favorite Demon Slayer character. Not for look or character design, but how annoying he is. Doing okay, recording another episode of my current Let's Play. If all goes smoothly, only 5 left. Great! We had our nice return to Let's Plays last night, where we did Yakuza 0, and we're going to be going through that game, and if there's another Yakuza for people to watch, yeah, let us know, or play. I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's a very visually story-driven. Starting the new year, I don't know yet. I've got a couple games I've got planned, but that requires us upgrading. And at the moment, we haven't done or have the funds fully to upgrade, not upgrade, upgrade. Um, but yeah, I mean, let's talk about Demon Slayer. Um, Crunchyroll, I want my movie ticket money back. You piece of crap. You guys. Oh, but holy hell, I forgot about how much difficulty Blue can be compared to the other Kanto gyms. Hard to go. That's right, you're going through Pokemon. Ah, yeah. Yeah. Blue is what I want Pokemon games to be like again. And I don't mean limiting the Pokemon or anything. Putting the challenge back. I mean, you had to grind hard in Blue and Red. And a little bit in Gold and Silver too. But once we got to Ruby and Sapphire, it got easier progressively each, new game. And I know that Game Freak's never gonna make the hardcore Pokemon game. It'd be nice, but they aren't gonna listen to the people. That's the one thing they will never get. I mean, it'd be nice. I will say down the line in our art streams, we have another franchise that came out around the same time, same premise, that we're going to be drawing in the future, which is Digimon. I if you follow me on DeviantArt, you know I draw Digimon pretty regularly with a continued series that is called The Bet. I don't know where that story is going. I'm not the writer. I'm just the artist. I do put the words on the page. Sometimes I give them, a little more in-depthness to the dialogue, but I am not the writer of the series. So when people ask me, hey, what's going on? My answer is, I don't know. I'm just following what I'm told. That's not unusual for an artist, especially a comic artist. You'd be like, I have no clue where the story is going. I'm just drawing it what I was requested to draw. Harder part with the Zenitsu and drawing him is gonna be his coat. Because we get two-tone colors, the triangle pattern, and then he's got I guess the Demon Slayer uniform it's not the coat's a hoppy. The coat's a hoppy. So, there's that. And the more we're going to have to spend on drawing Zenitsu, the less we're going to do the city. Because frankly, that's a secondary point. We do this series to draw characters. But the requester, who's getting artwork elsewhere, wanted to request this. And this is complicated and a little much, but it's doable. I have another one that is not doable right now, as the person's requesting, because they want hyper detailed of 12 different characters. And I'm like, dude, I have limits, man. This is a 2-hour show. We can't keep drawing these like that. To quote The Simpsons, It's terrible strain on my wrist. But, I mean, we offer the challenge. But that challenge is a no. No, no. I can tell you, I could not finish that at all in 2 hours. And while the show is slated for 3, it's only when we go over that we get the 3, like we did last time. We went over. Really also hate his hair. His hair's like Demon Slayer's hair. I mean, it's stylistic. It's stylistic, I'll give it that. But the hair in Demon Slayer is this sort of like squared mess. It's always gonna do. And Zenitsu's kind of the worst of it. But let's see. What do you think they are? What do you think you are, AI? Oh, they must think I'm AI. I mean, sure, an AI could probably do it, but I am not upgraded to computer yet. I say that. I told family members, I said, I want to be one of the first people to have my brain digitized so I can become or live on in the net. But I know the dangers of that. Not physical dangers, but the fact your data will corrupt eventually time. But they're working on it. They're working on it. And AI will figure it out quicker. So then we can all be part of the AI. Join the Matrix. I've also got to do the eyes, which I forget the name of the artist for Demon Slayer, but he does these octagonal, hexagonal eyes instead of circles. All right, looks like the orange comes from right here, so I kind of want to just get a line so I know where the color comes in. And we're going to have to jump straight to inking immediately. So, can't keep messing with the sketch with the time we got. I'm also getting older, so I'm getting very slower with my drawing skills. Of course, I'm out of shape too. There's that. That's my own fault. Kind of make his uvula exposed. I'm gonna even break up that hexagonal, make him on the verge of crying, which breaks his eyes down to more from what I remember. I've watched it since the spring. But yeah, Crunchyroll. I want my money back for the movie ticket. You bastards stated it was a movie, and then you gave me the last 2 episodes of the last season and the first episode of the Swords Village arc. That wasn't a movie. pieces of crap slime to me. Hell, I want my money from the damn lawsuit you guys owe. To be fair, we do anime reviews using their clips. So, I can't argue. Zenitsu. Things going on in my life. It's not been a great week for my family. Nothing traumatic, but nothing good. A family member had to go through heart surgery. So that had us on the edge, and they're still recovering right now. And I wish them to heal better and faster. But only time will tell on those. And that's kind of made my anxiety peak. So it's been a mess there. I kind of wish we had topics on this show. But that's what Tuesday's stream's for. But yeah, I'm getting around watching a bunch of anime. I'm back into playing Skyrim for like the 20th time that I've yet to beat the game. But a friend of mine posted a meme. Actually, the friend is Brandon from Septum Sim versus the World. He got me back into Skyrim. It's like, just as I got dragged me back in. But yeah, so I've been playing some Skyrim in the few moments I give myself to have some peace. I'm almost done with the Thieves Guild quests. I did that mainly so I can get the damn skeleton key and quit having to go through lockpicks. But also have one of the guild things checked off. And it gets me around to other places. I finally got my invite to the Assassin's Guild. So I'm going to have to make my way over that way next. But I think maybe level 15 or so. I'm not doing anything to boost my experience, but I do have mods installed mainly to expand the game. Which is probably my fault. I just like putting mods in games. Oh my gosh. I mean, I still haven't finished Fallout 4 either. And I've gotten near the end on that one. But eventually my mods just make it too difficult to continue. Or I get bored. That's the ADD showing. If you ask what helps this in drawing and making stories and keeping all this work done, attention deficit disorder. Let's see. The locks, they do make a little clicking sound. You've said, yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, I can go through locks pretty quickly without the skeleton lock, but just to have the skeleton lock key or skeleton key just makes it less annoying when one would break on like a master lock or so. I'm pretty good outside of the masters on how well I can commit to it. Damn triangles. This is going to be the bane of the evening. These damn triangles. To give an audience an idea, a typical manga artist for Shonen Jump would do about a page every 2 hours. 1 page. 16 pages for a week. That's still impressive. And I mean, I'm not saying finish the page. Just draw it. We're here on the stream doing an art piece, usually from start to finish, in 2 hours. Could I, if I had the money and time and that was my career, could I do a 16-page comic in a week? Yes. Would I want to? No. We did it once. It nearly killed me physically, and that was just me. I'd have to have assistance to get through much of it. So that's why manga artists are impressive. The triangles could be worse. They could be the spots and Saber from Tarzan. Yeah, I mean, well, leopard spots tend to be like that. Whereas the triangle, I gotta make sure it's a triangle because it's also gonna be a different color. I don't want it to be opened in. But yeah, leopard print, if anybody actually paid attention to how leopard print is, it's not a circle. It's not a spot. It's more of a U, but a really thick U. I think I'm doing way too many of these triangles. I'm sure there's an assistant that did all these triangles and was probably going home and be like, I see triangles in my sleep. Oh, these damn triangles. Hold on a second before I cut one off. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. They don't come to the edges. So. I've got to draw a lot more of this freaking character. Because it's a mini comic with him in there. Same person made the request. So. I don't know why they like Zenitsu so much. I mean, like I said, he annoys me. As a character, he is such an annoying character. I mean, he's the lady player, but he's so pathetic and whiny that, for me, that's a turnoff. I'm gonna get rid of this stupid crotch moment here. I'll look at his pants a little bit better on the example. Trying to get better, especially as we get to chapter 12 and 11. Well, technically, end of 11 and chapter 12 of Demon Blade. on how handhold is for a samurai would be, where your hand would be held and whatnot. Sounds like my relationship with My Hero Academia for the longer time for different reasons. I'm the same with My Hero. Yeah. Once we got into edgy Deku, no, I was done. That's when I stopped reading. I stopped watching after the school festival, because then it was like, no, no, I know it's coming. Every now and then I'll pop my eyes over on that episode or on the Shonen Jump at it, but I expect the series to end soon. But then they've been saying that for the last 3 years, and it's still an edgy arc. I'm making patterns here. I mean, I get the same with people with One Piece. I love One Piece. I absolutely adore One Piece. But actually, and again, Brandon, aka Septum Sin, he hates Luffy. It will be. We're in the end game. Okay, yeah. I mean, I know he's been fighting all for one in the body of, I forget the freaking villain's name of the whatever. It's all for one and in the body, for crying out loud. But I know they've been fighting forever. I mean, I think it was like 2 years ago. We were getting all ecstatic about the first American hero in the comic to show before she got her ass just handed to her. Tomoro Shiragaki. Yeah. They've been fighting for a while. I mean, Shonen Jump right now, I only read One Piece, Spy Family. I keep trying to read the new stuff to see if there's anything that really clicks with me, but not really right now. I know they just started another golf manga. This is the 4th one they tried since I started being a follower of Shonen Jump, which, mind you, was when Shonen Jump started in the US. So, not a fan of another golf comic. It's like, yeah, that'll excite audiences. A sport that's very calm and timid. But Japan loves golf. So. Let's see here. Not exactly AFO and Shigaraki's biking. I do miss Rory Dragon. One Piece right now is at some of the best stories. Getting the story for Kuma. It's heartbreaking. Oda knows how to make people feel. And my God, when we were introduced to Kuma, I was like, who's this guy? Why should I care about him? And holy crap, he's powerful? To, oh my God, I feel sorry for him. Oh, the poor guy. He went through all this hell. That's gonna be changed. Let's just do that. That. And a little tip if you're doing art, you coming across a character. I mean, I always say use a reference. Um, but it also helps to just sketch them out for like an hour or so to kind of get an idea how they look. I think its eyebrows show through. So we'll do that. See. I guess they show through when he wants them to show through. So I'll hide it. Oh. And it's a tough decision with every artist and whatnot. Of course, Demon Slayer, they don't have much story left. Where do you stand on Kuma? Does he now wear the crown of the saddest One Piece backstory? No. I'm torn with saying the saddest backstory is still either Law or Robin. But Nami's, oh my god, I cannot say enough of how powerful and important Nami's was, and just the fact that we see Nami's mom die, we see Belnair die. The live action really didn't do it. The 4 kids destroyed it. But my god, the anime made it powerful. And the backstory with Sanji and Zeph is powerful. I feel the manga did it better, as well as the live action did it right with the story. They did horrible with the makeup. They should have made the kid look skinny with some makeup, but they never did. So that's where they let me down there. But I hope they get better with makeup in the next season. I mean, the Fishmen looked okay for practical effect, and that's the key. Before this stream, I was watching John Solo video on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and looking at the comparison of not just the new movie coming out, but the Burton movie and the Wilder movie. The Wilder one always has a place in my heart. The Burton one, the CG is just too much. Live action really nosedived with its takes on Brody and Arlong Park. I don't think they nosedived, but they definitely didn't do great with the effects there. But I mean, to be fair, they spent a lot of money. Netflix knew this was going to be a make or break series. And they were lucky. They were lucky. It made it. Unfortunately, now they got to repeat it. And we'll see how well they'll do. I gotta say, Chopper's gonna be a tough one. you're going to have a character that's going to have to be played either by a physically small actor or a child, with the voice of a child. And either you CGI, you puppet, or you do a combination therein. Maybe it'll work. It's sort of, somebody described to me, it's sort of the way they do it in Mandalorian with Grogu. I don't want to give Disney credit. By the way, Tuesday stream, is Disney doomed? That's going to be our conversation. Shows it last week before the tech issues that knocked us out for the stream. So, but this Tuesday, we'll be back. We'll be drawing Witchin', and we'll be covering the topic. Is Disney doomed? Spoiler. Yes. Sort of. And they're doing. So, then, yeah. I mean, the case with a lot of stuff these days in Hollywood. Seeing the strike for the actors is what told me it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly for what's released in the next few years. Writers, I understand, they kind of needed to get the writers better, but the actors, maybe small-time actors, but big-time actors, you guys, outside of the AI argument, you really don't need to do anything. You guys are making crap ton of money off of crappy movies, and it shows. Maybe you'll get 1 or 2 decent films a year, but yeah. And this was ironically the biggest year for me to go to movies. I usually don't go to the theater, but I've been to 5, 6 movies. No, wait, 8 movies. So I went to 2 anime movies. Well, 1.5 anime movies, as we discussed here, because Demon Slayer didn't count. But they did give me Suzume. And I made bad choices with my beverage. I kept having to run to the bathroom. But I also kept crying my eyes out in a movie theater all alone. Well, there were people in there, but me all alone. Good film. If you haven't watched Suzume, watch it. Forewarning, you're gonna get Fukushima parts that are gonna make you just gut wrench. But I mean, to be fair, Fukushima was over a decade ago now. And I hate to say that, because when I was redoing Sailor Moon Andromeda Factor, one of the stories had a nod to Fukushima. Right after it happened. But, God. it doesn't get any easier, I imagine. Um, and in a way, one of the animes we reviewed for Lesser Luck this season uh, covers covers it as well. Um, the anime Overdrive. Uh, the main character that's the photographer, because there's two main characters, the photographer and the driver. Uh, the photographer is suffering PST from taking a picture of a little girl that he knew seconds before she died from a tsunami at Fukushima. And it's heartbreaking. And when you find out the truth in that episode, which just dropped this past week, episode or the episode after, it makes you have to think, a lot of the stories that we get, they don't tell you everything. And this was a good case, and they were using the story of a famous photographer that took a picture of an execution of a man who was getting shot in the head. And the photographer could not want to continue to see that picture, but he knew the importance. But at the same time, the truth was one-sided. And the truth was, this guy was getting executed by an overpowering force of a government when he was actually a murderer and lots of other things. So he wasn't a guy to put support around, which is an important lesson these days. Don't just blindly support something. Learn about it. And far too many people jump on one side or the other and just say, I want to completely support this. It's like, learn about the situation. That's going to another comic. Having to do a lot of work this weekend. And I spent most of the day with family stuff. And groceries. Lots of groceries. Because I was on empty. And my fridge was on empty too. No, that's right. Let's cover up the pupil. I forgot he does this with the eyes. Okay. It's the style. We're going to go with the style. Sorts. Well, yeah, let's go do the full circle and then I'll do the line underneath. Hit the wrong spot. There we go. But yeah, it's been, like I said, a rough week with family stuff. Dealing particularly with heart surgery for my close family member. I don't want to reveal too much more. But luckily they're alive. It's just a long road of recovery. And other family members are having to help out there. And that leaves me to try and normalize the holidays for the rest of the family. Which is not going to be easy. everybody has their own eating habits these days, myself included. Um, so much stuff I can't eat, but others can. I didn't do the pants at all. I didn't do the pants at all. Now I'm regretting it. Okay, let's see how these pants go. All right, they're a low wedge, so we're gonna go here. Kind of go like this. Wait, hold on. Let's do what he sort of does. Which is this. Oh wait, reverse it, because that pant there. Other than that, it's the holidays. I haven't done any decorating. Don't know if I'm gonna do any decorating. I'm actually more excited to decorate at work than I am to decorate at home. But I don't really have the space at home. I don't really have the space at work. But if you're gonna make a contest, I'll go out and, you know, get stuff to make my cubicle all Christmassy. Hell yeah. Ah, I gotta do, all right, it's a white rim around the top. So I messed up there. It's already, we're gonna spend an hour doing the city. Because all the time we're spending on Zenitsu. But you want your character to be the focal point, especially in a comic. There might be one or two points where a character's not a focal point, and that maybe if you're describing a device that someone's going to blow up some area with, you want to see the bomb. You don't just hide a bomb and go, oh, there's a bomb around here. You got to show it. There's a lot of, tell, but there's also a lot of show. And that's primarily why the current chapter of Demon Blade is. But a lot of people have been liking it. I gotta say, people have been liking the current chapter. Very story heavy. Finally out of the back are the flashbacks. We're finally going to be just dealing with the present. And I'm trying to think, do I have a flashback next chapter? And I don't think so. I think I get to go flashback freeze or free until chapter 12. So no flashbacks. Gonna have to be on point with the comedy. Because there's comedy. And sometimes I don't. I wrote enough comedy. Yes, I'm trying to be very dry with that statement. Let's do this. Make that a little fatter. Because it's supposed to be more like a parachute pants. Ah, not the pen I wanted. Okay. But yeah, writing for comedy is hard. And when you sit there, you think you got a good joke, you honestly need other people's opinions. It's kind of hard to do to keep a comic somewhat secret. If you're asking friends, hey, what do you think of this joke? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm not gonna draw a sword. I know I'm gonna have to in the comic that the person's requesting, but I'm not gonna draw it in this scene. We're just gonna go without his sword showing. We just don't have the time. I have been going back and watching a few anime over the year, and I think what I'm gonna do in about 3 weeks, I'm gonna do a year in its perspective of anime, because we didn't get to do uh, coverage of spring or summer like I wanted to. Um, so we're gonna kind of cover through most of them that I watched, and I'll give my review of those. Spoiler: most of them are gonna be good because they're good. This has been a year of just good anime. I mean, as much as people say, you know, I don't like this series, I don't like that series. There's a lot of anime they just go over to and check out this season, this year. It's just been that on point, which makes stuff like the Mappa issue uh, disheartening, especially when Mappa released several good anime this year and decided to be jerks with paychecks. But I've seen worse, sadly. Usually it's the artist that gets stuck with a bill and can't pay because studios wants to be, oh, well, you only did some artwork for us. You didn't do anything important. Yeah, it's a completely animated film, but you didn't do anything important. Yet a professional actor would get paid like 40 times that amount. Hell, their voice actors will get paid vastly more than the artists. Without the artists, you ain't getting the anime or the movie or the show, whatever. Oh, we can let computers do that. Right now, a computer can't tell a good story. I'm sorry. I have yet to see an AI story that makes a lick of sense. They're funny, but they don't make a lick of sense. All right. Reference, you're going away. City, you're in. It's also telling me what I had not filled, which I thought I did. I thought I filled that eye. Okay. We got about an hour to do a city. We're going to do some shortcuts. First off, we're already, like I said, using a reference. So that helps. But ah, dang. Try and do as best I can closing these. My other option was freaking Broadway. And it's like, no, no, I don't want to spend the entire evening drawing Broadway. Even the quick version. It's such a pain in the ass. I get why movies like to use them, but all that advertising that you have to draw as an artist, ugh, that's freaking annoying. We're doing these quick. Ah, fudge. Okay. Yeah, I missed there. You can see there's a lot of gaps going here. But I'd rather use the line tool to get a straight line on parts, especially when I'm doing buildings. Dang it. Oh, crap. We're on the same layer as the actor. Not good. All right. Normally I wouldn't mind, but if we're doing something elaborate as a city, that's going to be a problem. So, why am I not cut? There we go. Oh, one in the same layer. It was a different layer, but he's all the way down here. Okay. So, undo. And deselect. All right. I know, let's see. The main anime I've been watching this season, and if you ask me what TV shows I've been watching, it's been anime. I haven't really had the time to get into other shows or something. I may, sit down and watch a movie or have a movie play while I work, but it's usually a classic that I know by heart. Like I watched Scrooged, the Bill Murray 1980s comedy that takes the story of Ebenezer Scrooge and puts it into a TV executive's office. That was great. That was great. And it's a nice little holiday to watch every year. It was free on Prime, so I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. But then I get into Blue Eyed Samurai because I was watching Pluto and I finished Pluto, and that came up, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. It's not really an anime. It's a CGI, I think, Canadian production. But my God, yes, watch that. It's awesome. Great revenge story plotline. I get vibes of Samurai Jack from it. Which is good. But your main character is female and did something that I'm doing in Demon Blade. And I kind of mentioned in the comic recently that Shinyoku, the villain of the current story arc, is a bastard child of Japanese and European descent. Now, they're making it in Blue Eyes that the person is English, but here's the problem. Japanese history, particularly that point in Japanese history, was only really Dutch were involved. Um, Dutch and Portuguese. There's very little English involvement in the Japanese domains until pretty much the 17 to 1800s. And this series is supposed to take place before Tokugawa. So it's 1500s. But I do like lines like the villain of the first season he's like, "We English have mastered the art of killing." And he's showing off guns. And it's like, yes, yes, it's true. You bastards. It's the reason why you conquered a lot of the world. But it's true. I mean, they're taking liberties in the series. I also watched Scott Pilgrim. I guess that would be a show. I mean, I don't want to call it an anime because that is from a Canadian studio. It's done in an anime style, but it's done more to mimic the comic than it was to mimic anime. But it was still a nod to anime. Such a pain to draw this so quickly. I usually, when I do a city background, I will give it 4 to 5 hours if I'm doing a lot of detail. Like when I did chapter 3 and 4 of Demon Blade, I had characters running about Akihabara and Shinjuku. I took my time on getting those buildings to look right, using locations, images, and whatnot to be right. And this was after I had to change the plot. Because the original, they went to, in the 2013 version, they went to a ski ice snow place. That is in Japan, or was in Japan. But by the time 2015 came out, that place had closed. And I wanted it to stay modern. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, I could just say it's still open. But at the same time, they tore the damn place down. One of the few places Japan tore down. Japan doesn't like to tear down. They like to build and rebuild and rebuild. But they tore it down. It was a unique building. And I kind of agree with one of the YouTubers I watch a lot. Is abroad in Japan. And his statement about Japan's losing its originality in buildings. It's very true. Very true. It used to have some really unique buildings. And they've been tearing them down. They've been putting in the boring square buildings that everybody else has. Gone is the day of inventiveness with cities and whatnot, and now we're just getting cookie cutter everything. I mean, buildings, stories. I mean, I like Blue Eyed Samurai, but it's a cookie cutter. Um, it takes elements from uh, Ronin, the original Ronin story, uh, and it takes elements from spaghetti westerns, which, to be fair, spaghetti westerns are very much taking from samurai movies, but I mean, you just go with works, you know? And I can't complain about spaghetti western. We don't get enough these days of a spaghetti western type movie. I really should. We don't get enough noir movies either. And I love noir. Give me a good noir series. And I'll love watching it. I mean, that's why I kind of like Oshinoko. Spoiler, I'll give my review of that in the episode that I go over the best, or, well, it's not going to be the best of the series, but other series I suggest from this season, or from this year. And Oshinoko will definitely make that list, of course. For good reason. It's got a little bit of film noir, where you have the mystery of the father slash secondary killer in the series. And I do know who the real problem is. I just don't want to spoil it. So I just got too excited and read on, which is typically what anime is trying to do. So if you're like, oh, well, there's not a new series or a new season of this show that I loved, it's more likely because it didn't do its job. It didn't tell you to read the light novel or the manga. And yet some do. And I mean, that's why shonen works so well, particularly Shonen Jump titles, because everyone that's into that is a solid anime watcher, as well as a manga reader or a light novel reader. Now, I do wish isekai lightened up. I don't mean the tonally. I mean, just give us a season with like maybe one isekai. But no, they have to keep coming and coming. And I think only person that's really celebrating now is Gart. And, you know, he can keep celebrating. For me, I'm done. I'm done with isekai. At least for a while. I will give the season of what is I can say? I know I mispronounced it, but the jobless one, it's just slipping out of my head of the proper termage, but this season, while I can give crap to it being the depression arc slash the ED arc, it's still entertaining. And I mean, that's why the show does so well, is it's entertaining. But I mean, I'm telling people, you need to be watching Shield Hero. And people are like, Shield Hero? That wasn't good after halfway through the first season. I'm like, no, dude. No. You are missing some of the best of that show. Right now. When the heroes are actually having to get together and actually having to straighten their crap out. And that crap is bitch. And her constant attacks that just destroy each of the people or each of the heroes. It's just one, it's great villain work. Great villain work. But two, it's also just great character development. You're getting introduced to new characters each time. I mean, when I watched Garnt's review of the shows for the season, he's like, oh, it's doing a tournament arc. No. That was one episode. One. Not 30. Not an entire season. One. Yet I got Jobless Creator, or Reincarnation. Jobless Reincarnation. That's it. We got an entire season of him wallowing and crying. I mean, it's good writing, but it's also hard to watch because it's just like, do something, man. Throw the balls and get out there. Yeah, they don't work, but just do something. The dude freaking counts for freaking 4 to 5 years in story. Years. Not days. Not hours. Not months. Years. That is just like, I can't keep supporting that. I mean, if they didn't resolve Sylphie issues or I mean, her romantic feelings with him, that season would have just been junk. They had to do that. Goblin Slayer's pretty good too. They're actually adventuring. Now, mind you, it's going to a wedding, but they've been training new people, and Goblin Slayer is sort of that nice taste of a realism that a GM wants out of a D&D game. We all know in the D&D campaign, it's more going to be along the lines of Konosuba, which I'm looking forward to, season 3. But honestly, realism, it can be good in your campaign. Huh. Just elements of it. You don't have to, you don't have to be too severe. But mind you, in my campaigns, I've killed, well, I didn't really kill them. They kind of did it to themselves. I led a party onto a volcano, story-wise. They got up to the top of the volcano. They didn't realize it was a volcano. This was a one-piece RPG game. If you didn't know, Green Lightning, aka Emery Arts, aka yours truly. We wrote the rules of One Piece in RPG form before other people started. And I had this island that I designed that, and it kind of fit in with Oda's story making. That a sky island was stuck on top of this volcano. And the reason being, Oda stated how sky islands were kind of created was the ash would go up into the clouds, and the clouds would form land, effectively. And so they had this volcano that over the centuries, the people of the island below didn't know there was a sky island above. And the people on the sky island above didn't know there was an island below. But, so the team walked up this mountain, climbed it all up. We're sure it was just a mountain. Now I'm describing, they have terrible earthquakes, rocks come falling from the sky, all this stuff. But they never see lava because lava's covered by this perpetual cloud. They get up on the top of this volcano, and I rolled. The volcano wasn't active at the moment, so it was inactive. They climb up on it. They go down the caldera of the volcano, climb up the lava dome, which is basically the nozzle of the volcano, and they see the hole for the volcano. And one is like, oh, must be a cave entrance. I'm like, well, it goes straight down. It's like, I have the power of a sponge. I'm gonna jump down it. He died. Instantly. He's like, what? How? I'm like, dude, I've been describing this volcano to you for days in this campaign. And you didn't listen. They're like, well, you didn't say it was a volcano. It's like, yes, I did. I can't go out and say exactly it's a volcano to you because the people below didn't know that. What a strange concept. People have misinformation. Then there was one death that was done by another player to another player, and I had to blame the other player because there was no other way around it. They were in a dungeon, and they had stairs leading up to the next room. Well, instead of waiting and healing in that room for their unconscious ally, they dragged their ally by the feet up the stairs. They died of blunt trauma. I was like, no. We'll let you roll. And if you get a single one out of 26 rolls, he's dead. You got like 5 ones. It's like, dude, all you had to do was carry his head. All you had to do. But of course, it causes tension. And as a GM, well, you have to just be like, dude, I'm the ultimate Saiyans. And this is the same guy that when we played the One Piece games or the Naruto game, because we also had Naruto rolls and fairy tale rolls, because I was asked to do the fairy tale. But Naruto and One Piece we did in their peaks when they started. Yeah. Um, I had this guy argue to me what the rules said. And I'm like, dude, I wrote the rules. You don't need to tell me. He's like, but that's what the rules say. I was like, I don't care. I wrote the rule. Therefore, I'm the final authority of the final authority. If I say, you screwed up, you screwed up. It's still fun. I love to GM another game. We were playing a game with Septum Sen versus the World and a few other people on the movie podcast that they're all in. Whereas running them through a Konosuba world. I want to go back to the game. I have something so hilariously planned. And I may never get to use it. That's what breaks my heart so much. But then, I mean, I'll use their game. We had a player. We still have a player. I think I've lost any players in that game yet. That their NPC is a rogue. And they've been complaining because they started out with like nothing in money. And so I was like, well, you'll get some money. They go to a fight ring, and first problem with this player, he wants to take on the champion. It's like, yeah, I know I'm level 3, but I'm going to take on the champion. I'm like, all right. And they get their ass handed to them in one round, get knocked out. When they finally come conscious, the rogue was giving them a bag of money, telling them, do not open this in this establishment, which they immediately do. And it just happens to be the winnings from the freaking bar. So it's like, dude, the rogue rolled so well to get you like 500 gold. And you freaking opened it in the area where it was just stolen. Needless to say, they ended up in jail. And we played out this whole elaborate story of them going before the court of the king. Mind you, their rogue is a kobold and is story-wise, and they're aware of this, story-wise, looked on as the pet to the princess of the kingdom. Now, the princess is a spoiled Veruca Salt type. So, the rogue doesn't want to go back to her. But it's like, seriously, they've got wanted posters, everything, and you have them go into a courtroom with you before the king and his daughter just because you couldn't keep a bag closed for 5 minutes. Fun adventuring. Fun adventuring. All right. Let's see if we can do some of this stuff. I'm gonna do real quick flex on these because some of this is gonna just be really quick backgrounds. Dang it. See, this is where this kind of gets frustrating because I've got a bunch of openings and I didn't close them. And they're like tiny marks on several parts. And just to get them, look halfway decent, we gotta bring them out. What I wouldn't give her a lot more time on this. Not that I want to do this for a lot more time. Again, Zenitsu. So many better characters I could be drawing from that series. So many better characters. I mean, I can't say much. I like One Piece, and I'll give Usopp credit that, yeah, he's funny, but he can be annoying. Septum Sin versus the World feels Luffy's the annoying one. I haven't gotten his take on the live action version of Luffy versus, the rest of the world that I've heard from, or my own. So, I can't vouch. But we're doing what we can. All right. Uh, let's do like that, and I'm not. It's gonna still go all over the place. And yep. Son of a bitch. Shut up, bitch. No good. Freaking trying. We've done a lot this year. A lot of unusual things this year. Some I can't talk about. Some I don't want to talk about yet. Namely my assault. I got assaulted, so people question, oh, well, you committed assault? No, I was assaulted. Still waiting to hear back about that case. Police are moving real slow on that one. That happened back in February. And here we are in December. Nothing's happened yet. No. This is just frustrating. And it's gotta be done. And I will say for the longest time, I sucked at my cityscapes. I still kind of suck at vehicles. If you see a vehicle in Demon Blade, usually it's me really putting an effort forth. With the exception of the ones I'm used to, I still need to design what the Yushis have for vehicles. I know they have an SUV and a car, sedan, but because it's written that way. I haven't drawn them out or decided what they look like. The only vehicle of note right now has been Hugh's van, because we've seen it already. Uh, it will play bigger role later. Not huge role, but I mean it's gonna be seen regularly. So I had to design how I wanted it to look it to look. And I mean that's what happens when you do comics. You know, you gotta decide those little things. You know, I wanted a van for them to be traveling with, and that van had to be not the best quality with a logo that is badly painted on. And that's what they got. They got this horribly paint job blue van with white paint on there reading the band name. And the van looks like it's gonna break down at any moment. So I just used like a VW bus style. But again, there's the scene in chapters 3 and 4, downtown Tokyo. I had to draw vehicles there. And a lot of vehicles that were more sporty, more the kind that people would like to drive and own, but would not like to pay the taxes or the repair bill on, because those are the kind of vehicles that great to look at, suck to pay for. All right. Let's add dark gray at the freaking. That'll go far. That'll go far. I can do this real quick. All right, 9:34 Eastern. For those that don't know, Raquel Kalawaga. Hola, welcome. Hola, cheers. Well, I mean, yeah, hola back at you. I think we can bring Zenitsu out again. And, why is he? Did I do it again? Dadgummit. Bring him out. Not the best cityscape. That's what I get for using New York as a reference. It's not a knock to New Yorkers out there, but the city, I mean, it's suffering the same issue that I said about Japan, where the skyline is becoming less creative. So it's not really that impressive to do when you draw.
Could you try again? By the way, if you have another request,
Siri, we didn't ask for you. Turn yourself off. There's that ghost. That's all I can explain it. That's all I can cock it up to. Is the ghost of the apartment. The ghost. The ghost. Every time I tell a coworker who her husband loves stupid horror movies and ghost shows, she freaks out. She's like, "What? You're gonna ghost? No, I don't want to hear about it." It's like, what the hell does your husband make you watch? traumatizes you? I mean, I'm joking around. I don't think there's an actual ghost here. If there was, you ain't getting far. It's a tiny apartment. I mean, tiny. I can say it's about 20 feet wide. Or no, 20 feet long. Probably 10 feet wide. It's not a big place. It's, ironically, it's the same size of a small New York apartment. But it's not New York. And it looks like a freaking motel. Alright, let's turn him off again. Just so I can get this background building put in. And we'll do a little bit more in the background. I wanted to do night anyway. They wanted to go by the comic that we're working on, and it's night in the comic. Do I have... I know I have a brush on clip paint for the computer, but this is mobile. I don't think I have my buildings background. It's nice and handy. People. I got some people, but they're gonna look awkward the way they're drawn to Zenitsu. They'd have more focused in art on them. Nope. Nope. Shucks. I got so much stuff on the freaking computer, and I need a decent art program. Well, not program. Decent art tablet for it versus using the iPad here. It's not bad. I mean, I do most of my art these days on the iPad. The thumbnails are done through the original, because I can do those with a mouse. But, yeah. Just going to kind of give an illusion here of building. I'm not going to make it night. I'm not going to make it night. We're going to make it sunset. That's what we'll do. Because night will require me adding a lot of orange into this buildings. And I don't want to work that in the last 20 minutes. So let's go with, where's my, there it is. We're going to go with sunset. Come on, you can hide now. I don't need you. I need the layers. There we go. Yeah, that's right layer. Let's see which way we're going. That's appropriate. And we'll add some little techniques that we get along the way. But I want to kind of throw some buildings in the background that are going to be quick to make. Simple enough. We kind of established this before that sometimes you just need a little silhouette to help you out. Now, let's just grab a regular to give that sort of water tower look. And we get thicker. I think it should be enough. There we go. I did see Into the Spider-Verse or whatever the new one was since it came out on Netflix. It's good. It's good. Having grown up with Scarlet Spider and X-99, who's your villain in the series or in this film, and you know, right before One More Day became a problem with the series. It's all right. Got a little bit of a tap up there. Put Zenitsu in. Oh, we can't even see it. Of course not. Of course. Of course. Fuck me. I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna move him over. But first I need to deal with these triangles that didn't go through. Ah. Damn triangles. Alright. We're moving them. We're moving them this way. Because that looks a little bit better than this mess over here. If I had time, I'd do straight lights, but honestly, we don't. We don't have time. Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why it's not working. Up. Up. Well, let's do that. Let's grab straight here. Let's take a little bit of dark color. Let's do a layer above. And as always, if you have an idea that you want drawn, keep it simple. Don't try to kill me in these streams, unlike some people. And by simple, I mean this is complicated just physically with location, but it's not, like I said, horrible compared to like trying to do 12 characters with incredible detail just in 2 hours. And it's just like no, that can't happen. Sorry, that's too much. See, if I had more time, I would do the lines myself and not just go with a dashed line. But it's just, we don't have the time. We just don't. I can get some, but we're going to be pushing it. And I don't feel like going over today. We are going to do a little trick of hazing the scenario. So what I'm going to do, big old brush. We're using orange. Hold on. Is there select, deselect? Okay. That's it. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of orange. This will help kind of give light pollution concept around memory usage getting overused. That's the reason why I do still have to switch to another tablet. Because the iPad doesn't like being overused with its memory. And this is a brand new iPad. So it's not like I'm using some iPad from years ago. This is the same kind of iPad you'd get if you went to the store and got one today. No. We need to spread that out a little bit more. Okay. Orange. Okay. I'm going to take that fade. And fade it. There's a little hint of lights going on in the buildings. Shoot. I didn't do enough of that grid. I'm going to just go with black on that. I'm just going to redo that. Not the best drawing, but it's a drawing. And as I say, for everybody who says, "Oh, I suck at art. I can't do it." Main issue is to know when to stop a drawing, and far too often, people stop too early. Now here we have a timeline, so we have a hard stop. But usually you know when you're gonna try and stop, and go with that. Actually, let's use a softer. Let's use the pencil. Let's go back down to 10. Just leave a thin line. I'm just gonna kind of do a little bit of perspective on this building. Slowly. It should have been like right there. Slowly turn the perspective around. It just gives a hint. And I'm not, as I was using a reference, I'm not really using perspective properly. Learn how to do perspective before you do this. This is called, I have very little time to do this. So I'm doing it this way. But the slope slowly going straight. That last one was wrong. Just a hint. That's all. Do kind of the reverse over here. We're gonna do some windows going down. If we can. I don't know where the bottom is, but we're gonna do it right at the shoulder. There. Nope, not you. There. What are we at? 9:51. I kind of wish I had a sponsor. Then I could do a sponsor ad in that last 10 minutes, but we don't. We did, technically, we didn't lose our sponsor. They kind of made it harder to get paid. Uh, so our sponsorship technically no longer works there. Our sponsor code doesn't, because they screwed up the code when they changed it over, and that royally pissed me off. Because the point of the code was to not give my info away. But they're like, oh no, we need you to give out your info. Like, yeah, not happening. Not happening. I went too power crazy there. Too power crazy. There we go. Yes, I know. Memory usage. Yes, we're hurting it. We're hurting your precious memory. I'm aware that I'm doing that to you. That's why we're probably going to call a stop here. Because I don't want to burn out my iPad. My only way to draw right now. Okay. There you go. Well, covers the subject. They wanted Zenitsu, confused, and a modern city. We have Zenitsu, looking confused, and a modern city. We completed the task. Needless to say, not my favorite, but Zenitsu looks decent. The city really needed like 2 more hours of work and focus and actual perspective. But we can give it only we can give it. I do want to thank the person who claimed this or wanted this. Let's see here. Let me pull up the actual thumbnail here so I know what I'm looking at. I didn't write it down, damn it. I got it on my freaking sheet down here. And sorry for the sniffles, but we're going to winner. Suzuki-sama 28 off of DeviantArt put in this request back in around mid-October. So that gives people an idea where we're at in the request lineup. To be precise, I have 4 other requests, maybe 5, if the person I told, please come back with a simple with one, doesn't respond, then we have 4. If they do respond, then we have 5. But right now, we have 4. I'm just now reading what the next one is. Hey, we've got some Genshin Impact coming up for the Genshin Impact fans. Yeah, we got that coming up. We're gonna be drawing Lisa in that one. We have 3 anime girls from different series that's going to be in a drawing eventually. The Digimon that I said. But next week, we will be back with Orc and Office. Orc, Office. Office with orcs. Yeah, I'll make a thumbnail using the Office, but replace a head with an orc, probably, I guess. All right. As always, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, a wonderful year. I'm gonna go get some rest and get to work on some other art that is worth it, worth the time. And I will see you on Tuesday, yes, I do have to make the note. We are removing the Sunday play or Let's Plays. We're just going to do Friday, but we're going to make Friday 5 hours. So from 7 to midnight Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing Let's Plays. If you want us to play a unique game, let me know. We'll add it on the list. Right now, the only limits to that is a computer that's capable of running them and a PS5 or Xbox. What is it, One? I don't remember what the Xbox is. The latest one. But, yeah, we just need those. And, of course, the game. But, hey, we'll get them. We'll get there. But until then, let me zoom in the actual artwork here. I'll even make it stretched out. All right. There's our art piece. It'll be posted on DeviantArt soon. Demon Blade got posted earlier today. Nothing else is going to get posted this week. Simply because I've been on sort of an art block with one comic particular. I think I'm going to skip it and come back to it a little bit later. Cool, 84 subs. Thanks, Liam. Thank you for joining. But yeah, have a wonderful weekend, wonderful week, wonderful year. And hopefully come back for some enjoyment as we talk about Disney Is It Doomed on Tuesday with Driffle Draw. Good night, everybody.